Hello, Aphmira Killer Bees. This is Major Alfie Felipe. I hope you're doing well, staying healthy, and staying safe. Captain McComb and I have been tasked to look into Microsoft Teams and really explore its potential and its capabilities in support of Colonel Peak's vision of perhaps transitioning our telecons, some of our meetings, and possibly even our collaborative staff work into Microsoft Teams. I'm very excited for the opportunity, and the more I get to become comfortable with Microsoft Teams myself, I really do think it can be at least part of the solution, if not the solution, during this interim COVID period of time. This is the first video in a series of 6. I wanted to split it into 6 so that it's a lot more easy to find what you're looking for. In doing this video, I'm trying to remember that we come from all different tech savviness levels. Some of us have used virtual workplaces before, some of us haven't, and so I wanted to break this up, and so feel free to skip ahead to what you're looking for, but I'm kind of starting from the ground floor and heading up and really covering the exciting features of Microsoft Teams. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Really quickly, some rules of engagement. I hate training. I know a lot of you dislike training, especially CBTs and virtual training, so I'm going to try to keep these extremely short, under 10 minutes, very succinct, and kind of hit on the exciting features, what we might be able to take advantage of, and keep pressing. Again, this idea of modernizing the workplace, if there's been a silver lining to teleworking, it's that we've sort of been forced to look into something like a virtual workplace as we continue to deliver our body of work and our deliverables with the agility and the flexibility that the Air Force is known for. It's kind of hard with teleworking, kind of doing it over cell phones and Outlook. So Microsoft Teams is very good in that respect. Here are some of the capabilities, and we won't talk about any of these in this video, but Microsoft Teams does offer VoIP calls, video teleconferencing, collaborative work and sandboxing, and some virtual task managing. So more to come on those. The reason I feel this video, the first video, is so important is, again, it acts as that baseline. It's going to introduce us to some casting characters as I sort of roll out an analogy as we talk about the transition from a physical to a virtual workplace and how Microsoft Teams kind of helps alleviate the growing pains with that. And then we're just going to go ahead and jump into Microsoft Teams. I'm going to give it a test drive for you, kind of show you what the heads-up display looks like and how you can change some of your personal settings. So again, as we transition from a physical to virtual workplace, it's called Microsoft Teams. And so the team is sort of the building block of this program. And so what do they mean by a team? So as shown in the picture here, a team is meant by the actual physical brick and mortar office place as we used to know it. And so our office, which was a collection of cubicles and offices on the 4th floor of DHHQ, that is our team on Microsoft Teams. And thank you to Colonel Peak for already setting up our Aphmira Killer Bee team. But just like in an office place, there's certain features that we can take advantage of. An office place may have a corkboard or a whiteboard where we can make announcements to the entire office and even sort of communicate externally to the office, hey, this is what our office place has going on. Office places also have conference rooms, and though we obviously won't be meeting in conference rooms, Microsoft Teams provides the capability to do video teleconferencing, face-to-face dialogue, just as you would in conference room meetings. One of the words that I sort of had a little trouble understanding myself was this idea of a channel. So under each team, you are able to have multiple channels. And when I think of a channel, I think of something like ESPN or HGTV, and I didn't quite know what it meant. I think the best way to think of a channel, and the bees are a great example for this, are our respective programs. And so it's not necessarily an office cubicle like I've shown here, but what I'm trying to show is it's a piece of the office space. And so, for instance, on our Aphmira Killer Bee team, we may have multiple channels such as occupational health, environmental health, total exposure health, etc. Not exclusive to the channels, but just like at a cubicle, there's some features that Microsoft Teams also provides as well. You're able to do VoIP calling just like you used to do from your old telephone headset, and the status bar kind of gives you the capability like you would with your old whiteboard at your desk, kind of showing where you are when you're out of office and any sort of personal communication you wish to disseminate. And finally, probably the most intuitive and easy feature, I think the quickest feature to grasp on Microsoft Teams is this chat function. The chat function, if we're still using the analogy, would be like the break room or the kitchen on the fourth floor. It's where you go to have one-on-one conversations, really quick burst information back and forth. It's not restricted to one-on-one, but again, I really need to foot stomp the chat room, sort of chat function, because that is where you have chats. It's not on boards, and I'll show you when we get into team videos and collaborative videos why we don't chat on the boards, because you will bury what's important when you need to find something very, very quickly. If you're just chatting and asking questions, limit your audience and limit it to a chat. So more to come on that. I hope that analogy is helping everyone kind of grasp Microsoft Teams, at least as it overlays with the physical office. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into Teams. So here's your heads-up display. Again, I am doing this from my personal computer. I just got Teams for my DHA laptop, but I understand that there are some features on the DHA laptop that are banned by the administrators, and so I'm going to drive from my personal MacBook to kind of show you the full capability of Microsoft Teams. So here's our heads-up display. We have a number of tabs here on the left, and the most important one I can show you right now is this one all the way at the bottom. I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. First, this help feature. So again, I'm going to keep it very short and brief, but at any time you can come down here to help, and you can click on any of these subjects here, and it will get down into the nitty-gritty and really kind of show you how to use Microsoft Teams to its absolute utmost. So really wanted Vector people here to help to kind of go beyond what these videos are going to kind of look at very quickly. Your apps, there's a very limited number of apps. This is where you could download further apps for the Teams and for the Office to use. But I think, again, as an administrative function, we've been limited in our apps. But I will show you how to use these apps, the apps that we do have in later videos. You can also download Microsoft Teams not just for your personal laptop or your DHA laptop, but also for your mobile cellular device. And so here's a QR code if you want to take it this way. I download it to my iPhone. I use the Apple Store, or you can use the App Store. Again, put it on your mobile device. It's another way for folks to get a hold of you. Moving to files, any files that are posted on boards and dialogues will be kept here, so you can kind of keep a running filing cabinet, if you will, of recent files. If we look in here, there's different ways to edit these files, and we'll talk about those in some of the collaborative videos. Calls, just like your telephone at your desk. Here's my list of contacts that I have pre-populated in here, and kind of shows their statuses, and I can give them a video call, my contacts list, who I called in the past, and we'll talk about voicemail in another lesson. Calendar function, just like Outlook. I'm hesitant to start using this calendar because I'd hate to create a duplication of effort with our Outlook calendar, so I'm kind of just going to breeze over this one. We could talk about that later. Teams. This is the Teams, the building block of Microsoft Teams. Again, kudos to Colonel Peak. Thank you, sir, for creating our AFMERA Killer Bees teams. If I go inside, you'll see that Colonel Peak has graciously pre-populated everyone in the office and team, so everybody's already on one team. Again, I've created a channel under this team called Teams Training, and we'll use that as our sandbox in another lesson, so more to come on that. The chat function is simply that. It's a chat. It will keep a recent running history of your chats that you've been in, as well as your contact list. Now, this is one of those things that wasn't super intuitive, so really quickly, if you're looking to add someone, you can create a new contact group. As you see, I've got a list of contacts, so I have all of us in B. I have folks from the NCR here, from AFMERA, from Andrews, that's Colonel Vitas and Kevin Whitney and Miranda. They're in my NCR group. I've got folks from overseas here. The 7-Eleventh is, I've found a lot of our 7-Eleventh partners on Microsoft Teams. Unfortunately, chatting with Dr. Ott, not a lot of people have gotten into it yet, so hopefully they can get that up and running. Coincidentally, it's just the 7-Eleventh right now because I tried looking for Colonel Inninger, Colonel Bryant, and they're not in the address list yet. And so more to come, hopefully, out of Wright-Patterson with that. But that's your contact. So you would click these three buttons here, add a contact to this group, So I'm going to look for Macomb and Benjamin, and I click on him. Do I want to add him? Yes, I do. And it says this contact is already a member of this group because here it is right here. And here's a running chat of what we've been talking about here in the past. Finally, activity. This is your feed. Shows you what has recently you've been working on, as well as my activity and what I've been doing on here as well. Now, with our setting, if you come over here to the upper right, you can click on your profile here. So usually default here are your initials. You can go in and change your picture. I'm not very original. I use my official picture, but I've seen some really good ones for some folks here. Just click upload picture. I think there's a size limit on your picture, but feel free to upload a picture, make it a little more personal for you, or you can remove the picture if you don't like it. I talked about how, like at our cubicles, we had our personal whiteboards, and so this is where you can set your status and let folks know if you're out of the office or if you're around but just not at your computer. Again, available is pretty self-explanatory. Be right back. So, for instance, my office is in the basement, so if I run up to grab some lunch, I'll put it on be right back. Appear away if you're gone for the day. I don't necessarily log out every night. I just set this to away so folks know I'm not actively monitoring my computer. Busy and do not disturb are very important. If you're ever in a call or in a telecon, Microsoft Teams will automatically default you to busy to let folks know that you are predisposed with something else, but it won't ban incoming messages in case you can multitask. However, like you see me here, I'm currently in do not disturb, and this is a great feature because as you see in this bar here, my status has been set to do not disturb, and I'll only get notifications for urgent messages or my priority contacts that I set. So again, because I'm doing this training with you all, I don't want any incoming messages disturbing me. Again, if you're presenting or leading a telecon or a video telecon, you definitely want to set this to do not disturb to not break up your tempo, break up your rhythm as you're presenting. You can set a status message just like you would out at a medical appointment. Done. And so now it will put that so folks know I am out and I'm not going to be able to be reached. There's a saved function here, which is just like your favorites on your web browser. And so if you're having a chat or a file is shared and you're like, I really need to have that quick on the draw, you can save it and you can come here to your saved and it will show you your saved dialogues or your saved files for easy access. If you click into settings, you can kind of click with the color and setups of Microsoft Teams. You can set some application settings, whether you want to start it up automatically, or if you close the app, if the app is actually still running, all these other settings. Privacy, you can set that priority access, like I said, who can still access me when I'm on Do Not Disturb. So if, for instance, General Koeniger, for whatever reason, is trying to get a hold of me, I might want to put him on my priority access list because I'm not going to deny a general officer. Notifications, again, you can set your notifications, custom them however you want. Devices, if you're using any sort of devices, this is where you can play with the settings for those devices. Calls, I won't get into calls today, but we're going to have a video lesson on VoIP calls and how you can set up your voicemail and tailor your phone calls and voicemails. So that's really the heads-up display. We're going to have videos that drill down into each one of these in much more detail, but that's sort of a heads up. Hopefully everyone's able to get this installed, not only on the DHA laptop, but I really foot stomp that it helps to have it on a civilian laptop as well to really take advantage of all these features. I'm sure you won't be disappointed. So with that, if you have any questions, please reach out to me over email or text message, or you can leave a comment on the YouTube video, and I'll try to get back to you as soon as I can. All right, thanks everyone.